Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you all are doing well. We'll just start off now. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyid al-Mursaleen. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you are all doing well and are excited to be a part of this book club. I hope your quarantine or this stay at home stuff has been going well. And alhamdulillah, mine has been doing pretty good. So before we get started about the details regarding the book club, I just wanted to share some insight into why we should be reading and how this journey will benefit us, inshallah. So I'd like to welcome you to this new book club where, inshallah, we will learn to prosper and ultimately learn how reading can make us better Muslims. So many people get asked, why should I read more? Why would I bother reading the actual book when I have Spark Notes or something like that? It is true that you can learn the concepts, but just like exercise keeps our bodies healthy, reading is an exercise for the mind to help it grow and develop. All in all, reading improves your focus and concentration and can be used as a meditation technique. I'm not telling you to go off on your yoga classes, but I'm just saying reading is good for you. So nowadays, people have so many problems with concentrating. In a recent scientific study, in a single 5-minute span, the average person will divide their task by checking their email, chatting with their friends, and using social media. This type of ongoing behavior increases stress and lowers productivity. So when you read a book, the rest of the world is cut off and you immerse yourself in every fine detail you're absorbing. If the average student was to read 15 to 20 minutes before school, their concentration would increase exponentially. Reading is pretty much the best way to overcome stress. So in a recent experiment, by studying heart rate and muscle tension, it only took 6 minutes for the study participants to relax once they started reading. It is proven by many scientists around the world that reading makes you smarter. Well, I have a lot of siblings who actually read so much, and I can say for a fact that it makes you smarter. And reading really fills your head with new information, and you really never know when that knowledge can come in handy. It allows us to develop a more independent thinking capability and to be more open-minded. The more knowledge you attain by reading, the more equipped you will be when it comes to facing anything that comes at you in life. So now that we touched a little bit on the scientific aspect of why reading is so beneficial, there are so many Islamic reasons as to why reading is truly so great for us. So I'm just going to scrape the surface here, but in Surah Alaq, the first word ever revealed was Iqra, meaning read. And this has been said many times, but you really can't understand the value until you actually go into depth in the tafsir. And this isn't the tafsir class, this is a book club. But I'm just saying that the word read was the very first word that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ever conveyed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it goes to show the value of reading and its benefits. So at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there was a new Islamic community forming. And because of this growth, there was a need of wealth in the area to help with this growth. So Abu Bakr radiallahu an suggested to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that because there's a new and upcoming community, it would be beneficial to get the ransom off prisoners of the war for wealth. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam agreed. He then took the ransom off the prisoners for whatever amount of wealth they needed. And time went on, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pointed out to the Prophet that he should have not taken that ransom. From this, the Prophet ﷺ now had 2 ways to deal with the ransom involved with the prisoners. Simply taking the money and just going on with their lives, or making a deal with the prisoners, telling them that if they can teach 10 kids or adults how to read and write, then those prisoners would be freed. So this community was in need of growth, support, and financial stability. And the Prophet ﷺ's mindset in the best way to grow this community, it was through knowledge. He made this big chunk of a prisoner's ransom, reading and writing. And this goes to show how that knowledge is what builds a community. The people who lead are the ones who read. So the benefits of reading may be the cause of massive success for thousands of people. Even in the most dire circumstances, you may lose your job, your money, your possessions, any of your worldly things, but your knowledge can never be taken from you. So with that, I want to transition into the book that we will be reading this book club. So this book is called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and he's a Brazilian lyricist, and he was born in August 24th, but this isn't a history class, so we'll just go on to the actual book itself. So it was published in 1988, and some themes of it are drama, fantasy, quest, and adventure and pretty much wisdom, which is the reason that we're going over this book. So some of the breakdowns is that there's 370 pages with two parts. People refer to it as chapters, but I just like to refer to it as two parts. And it says on Google that there are different editions of it, but ultimately there are just 370 pages. So if you read at your own pace to finish this book, you can finish around 15 to 12 to 15 pages. You can finish around 3 weeks if you read those amount of pages before the next meeting day, inshallah. So the next group discussion meeting will be on July 8th. I know it says on the flyer from June 17th to July 8th, but actually the next meeting will be on July 8th from at the same time, I'm pretty sure. So inshallah, I want to introduce Ira Ahsan from Chicago to, mashallah, she's going to talk about the benefits of reading and a lot more. Inshallah, if Ira Ahsan can come onto the mic.
Assalamu alaikum, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. My name is Ira. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I will be sharing with you 10 benefits of reading books. Reading books is really important, and especially nowadays, and it doesn't only help you in school, it helps you beyond. So the first benefit of reading books is mental stimulation. Your brain requires exercise to keep it strong and healthy, just like other muscles in your body. Reading has been scientifically found to enhance connectivity in the brain. Keeping your brain active and engaged can slow the process of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. The second benefit is stress relief. When reading, you can focus on the characters and plot of the book. The distraction in the literary world or in your book allows you to distance yourself from your problems or everyday life. Losing yourself in a great story can be a perfect way to just relax. Number 3, more sleep. Sometimes it's hard to fall asleep when you're worrying about something or your mind is racing. Reading, even if it's just for 10 minutes, can help you push whatever was keeping you awake out of your minds. Number 4 actually, education. Education isn't cheap. Classes, seminars, and college classes, they all cost a lot. However, reading books or just borrowing them from the library is free. If you want to learn about something or something that interests you, you can probably find a book in the library and you can learn all about it. Number 5, better memory. A book has many different parts to it: a plot, characters, dialogue, and settings. Reading requires you to use your memory muscle, and that helps the muscle long term, because the more you use it, the more efficient it will be. Exercising your brain in mentally challenging ways can lead to a slower rate of decline in memory. Number 6, increases empathy. Reading requires us to sympathize with the character's emotions. Specifically, studies have found that reading fiction helps readers understand what others are thinking by reading people's emotions. Number 7, it improves concentration. In today's world, our attention is often drawn in a million different directions at once. When reading, you are concentrating on one thing. And by doing this, you can train your body to avoid distractions. And this ability can help when performing other tasks that require concentration, like in school or at workplace or really any other thing. Number 8, entertainment. Reading is a lot cheaper than going to the movies or other forms of entertainment. Reading at the library is free, and they're constantly adding new books, so you never have to worry about running out of ones that you haven't read. Books can transport you to other worlds and without the use of airplanes, and they can teach you really valuable lessons about life. Number 9, vocabulary expansion. The more you read, the more you are exposed to. Being well-spoken and articulate can help increase job performance and self-esteem. Exposure to well-written work can also have a huge impact on your own writing. And number 10, reading is contagious. Once you start reading, you find out how much joy you can really get by reading, the lessons that you can learn, and all the stories that you can talk about. So the more you read, the more you'll become fond of it, and then that will become a positive habit in your life that will definitely make you a better person and help your brain in the rest of your life. And those are 10 benefits of reading books.
All right, Jazakallah, Ira. I'm just gonna see if there aren't any questions that you want. You can just type it in the chat box. We will give like 5 to 10 minutes if you want to put any suggestions or questions about the book or the any contents of the book or the meeting date. Just put them in the chat box down below. We will allow 5 to 10 minutes for that, and then inshallah we can go from there. Another question about will we be reading mainly Islamic books or what is the criteria for the book's morals? We will be reading mainly, well, it doesn't have to be Islamic books as this one is, The Alchemist is not Islamic at all. It just shares the same virtues and morals that a good Muslim should have. And inshallah, the next one will be Islamic. If anybody would like to put any suggestions for any books that they want to know or to want to read, that just type it into to the chat box, inshallah. If there's any more questions, just type it in the chat box. All right, inshallah, if there are no more questions, I will just go over a few hadith and then we can turn it off. Or actually, there's one more question. Are series allowed? I think you'll have to ask one of the other admins because to be honest, I don't know. But inshallah, I'll just go over a few hadith and then we can turn it over to one of the admins. So books are one of the best tools for training and upbringing, and a good book always has a salutary effect on the mind of a reader. It can elevate the spirit and thoughts, and it'll augment his store of knowledge. The books help in correcting moral ineptitude. So sometimes reading brings about a change in the outlook of a person. The habit of reading is the best pastime. It can keep a person busy when he has nothing else to do. And the people who are in the habit of reading doesn't not only make their best use of their spare time, but they will keep their minds away from the worries that might chase them if they sit brooding, doing nothing. A good book for a reader is better than visiting the best of gardens and scenic places. Ali radiallahu anh, the commander of the faithful, says, a person who is occupied with books will never lose his peace of mind. Obtaining fresh knowledge will remove the tiredness and cloudiness of your hearts, because the hearts, like the bodies, to experience exhaustion. So the gauge for the progress and civilization of any nation is the quality, and the number of books is a number of people habituated by reading them. So the growth of knowledge of these people can get stagnant from time to time. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the search for knowledge is a duty for every Muslim. Allah likes the seekers of knowledge. Inshallah, we can now turn it over to one of the admins, maybe Sister Javeri Anchi.
Jazakallah khair wa ahsanul jaza, Zaid and Ira. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. If everybody can hear me, they can type 1 so we can hear. Alhamdulillah. We are all here. You can hear me, then you can type 1. Barakallah fi, mashallah. A very, very warm welcome to all of you. Jazakallah khair for your valuable time joining us together on the mission to read to succeed. So how many of you would like to read to succeed? Go ahead. Again, you can type a 5, which means high five to the smart readers out there. It's wonderful to see you all, mashallah, tabarakallah. And they say today a reader, tomorrow a leader, right? Alhamdulillah. So jazakallah khair wa asal jaza for our wonderful panelists for sharing the wisdom as to why we need to read. How many of us agree that yes, we need to read? Then go ahead and type read, that yes, we need to read. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, in case you are joining us right now, this is going to be our reading club. And how many of you have ever been in a reading club before? Then go ahead and type one so we know that you have been in a reading club. And if this is something very new for you, this is the first time being in a reading club, that will be two. So, we will be forming a group of smart readers who are going to work together, inshallah, to move towards meaningful reading in which we benefit from what we read, and we just not read, but we move towards writing, and inshallah, we turn it into something beneficial for all of us. So we do have a mix here right now. We have some who are reading for the first time in our reading club. There are some who are pretty familiar with reading. Wonderful. So we will be working together. In case you have not registered, this club is completely free. You can fill the form, and you can put yourself on the mailing distribution list. The first book that we are reading together is Alchemist by Paulo, and this is a very interesting book. We will find more about it and how we will be going through it. This is just more informal coming together and understanding how we want to proceed. So if you have any suggestions, anything that you would like to read, yes, we are definitely, Samiha, we are going to read different books, and there's a lot of books which are already on the panel that we want to read, and definitely we will keep a reasonable pace on that, but some of us can go faster and some of us can go slower. Yes, you could definitely read books, and we will keep coming back together to share what was our takeaway from these books, right? And what strength did it give me in life? How do I relate to it, and how do I apply it in my life? There will be no Google Classroom for this book club. Your email would be a way of correspondence for receiving information, and we had some suggestion of keeping a WhatsApp group for our readers so that we can share the timeline, like, okay, so by now we should have read 3 chapters or 4 chapters, so we keep those daily reminders. So how many of us would like to have a formal way of communication to share our reminders? Then we can do that. And if anybody of you want to come on the mic, you're most welcome. I see you can raise hand, and then we can give the mic to you if you want to have any suggestion or you want to have any question that needs to be answered. So raise your hand if you're ready, and then we will definitely pass the mic to you. So I saw one hand there, so definitely you can do that. Yes, so Fatima, we will create the WhatsApp as needed for reminders, or we can just keep it, because there's so much information, digital data coming from all directions. So if all agree, then we will just keep it email based so that you have your reminders, and then we come back to discuss it again. So Sister Sabah, you can talk right now. Okay, it seems you have an older version. Okay, so let me move you to there, and then you can talk. Go ahead, Sabah. Sabah, we can hear. Can you talk? Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Assalamu alaikum
Okay.
wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So I was wondering, when we get the book, I usually end up reading a whole book in one go. Are we allowed to do that, or is that like try and stop at the?
Right.
Yeah.
So what would be your liking, Sabah, with the smart reading pace that you have, mashallah, and just so that people are aware, you are a 6th grader, right? Going in 7th?
Yeah.
Yes, alhamdulillah. So how many of you feel that if we are moving fast, should we be allowed to go fast and complete? That's option 1. And if you think that no, I need to stop, everybody needs to stop and just read with everybody along, then that'd be option 2. So go ahead, everybody can poll. How would you like? What kind of book club would you like? Okay, so 1 would be to finish. So Sabah, you would like to finish it, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, Sabah, this book club is about facilitating reading for you. So if your mode of way is reading together, like like you are like somebody like me, I want to, when I'm excited, I want to go to the next and find out. Then maybe we can read in all, and we can come back. Again, based on today's session, we will see how we want to, formalize it, and then you can definitely put in more input that you may have, how you would like us to proceed. But since you will have the book, I can definitely, you can read, and once we're coming back on those checkpoints, you can focus on those particular parts at that time. How does that sound?
Okay.
Right? Awesome. And Fatima, thank you for saying, I like what you're saying, that you should be given a period, and anytime you finish within the period will be fine. Exactly. So for this book, your period starts right now. If you have registered, you will get the book PDF also. It's available. I have it in my hand right now. The cover seems very nice. It was very fun when I read this book, and I really enjoyed it. This was part of the assignment in a high school, and you guys are all growing, and we all can benefit from this reading. So once we have that, then July 8th will be when we can come back, and it's not like a big of a book, so this is more like a warm-up for us. So then we can proceed to the next book, and for the first time we will keep it very flexible. However you enjoy, we would like you to enjoy, because it's summer. But going forward, then we can solidify more rules. So I hope that works. So I have a question here. Do we pay for the club? No, you do not pay anything for the club. You pay in du'as for all the people who work hard behind the scenes for this. And this club is free for all. And we make dua that Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana. Oh Allah, benefit us through what you teach us. وَعَلِّمْنَا مَا يَنفَعُنَا. And teach us what is beneficial for us, right? And وَزِدْنَا عِلْمًا, and increase us in knowledge, right? So now I see the excitement, how many chapters are in their book and how many are there. Yes, there's wonderful list of chapters there. Once you start reading, you will enjoy. And definitely you need to keep marking what did you enjoy the most, what is something that resonates with you when you are going in the book, right? So I will let that question, yes, no, that will be a PDF, a link will be shared with you, okay? And on chapters, maybe Zed can answer. If you want to answer on how many chapters and things, or the split, then that would be appreciated. You can share with others, either by chat. And I just would like to quickly remind to you that every day is a great day to make use of it. So when we read, we open a world of opportunities, right? And so make the most of it. And so there are almost 300 pages, but almost like kind of chapter wise, it's 2 chapters. And you can definitely work it out. Once you start reading, you will see it's not too much of a reading. It's like a kind of a middle ground, basically. Okay, I hope that answers your question. And definitely in this time when we are surrounded by a time in which we're all stuck in our places, and the COVID is all around us, this is our mission to work with pals like you to spread education around the globe, and a mission to stay happy and spread happiness. And while we cannot meet friends, we cannot hug them, we can still pick up a book and have a great time, right? All right, so Sabah, yours is 179 pages. So is that a copy of this book, the same book, Alchemist, you're talking about, or you're talking about some other book? Yes, you're about right. The one that I have, it has also like around 179. Yes, you're right. So this has, yeah, these are editions. Very good. There are different editions. So yes, this one of the edition that I also have is 170 plus pages. It's a relatively smaller book. Now, before we close for today, if you have any other questions, please keep them coming. We will have the panelists, our leads, answer them for you as they are coming in. But we'll remind you that we do have another reading in progress, which is doing Quran page a day, which takes less than 2 minutes in a day. And basically, we are reading 1 page of Quran every day. For the summer, we are doing a special. We are doing it surah-wise from Juz 30th. So if you can see the screen with the details, go ahead and type 1. That tells us that yes, you can see it. There is still time to join and invite a loved one to khair and increase your hasanat. We are going from Surah An-Nas backwards to all the way Surah Naba, and for that we reconvene on July 18th to see how our learning is going along, and inshallah we will have some live tilawa sessions as well. So here on this there is a link down there, so you can invite your loved ones. There is a book that can be picked up locally, or it can be shipped, or an ebook that can be sent to you. And of course there's nothing better than the book which has the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Alhamdulillah. So definitely you can register on that. On a similar note, there is another thing which is going on right now, which is called the Wisdom Video Challenge. So you can use your time as you read. If you have things that you would like to share with the world, then this Wisdom Video Challenge is on with amazing prizes there. In book club also, inshallah, we will definitely be acknowledging the participants, in some way. So here you have the first prize is $100, and all you need to do is make a short video of whatever topic inspires you, from Revive a Sunnah to any other theme. Maybe you have read something and you want to share with the world. Maybe it could be the book review of The Alchemist also, and you want to see how the Muslims of the Ummah, they can benefit from this and how they can resonate with this. You can even share that. And there is definitely you can definitely read all the details here at this place, how you can, if you regarding the guidelines, how your day as a believer, how you incorporate reading in your life. That could be really great. How are you making sure that you're reading at least 20 minutes a day, something beneficial, not just the news, but something more relevant, or not just some social media groups that we read, something more valuable you add it to your life. And definitely you can leave in comments if you have recently, how many of you have read a book in recent times. Go ahead and type the name of a book that you might be reading. For me, I'm reading a book these days which is called Enjoy Your Life. It's in Arabic called La Tahzan. In Urdu it's in La Tahzan, which is in Urdu also translated. It's translated in many languages, so it's called Do Not Be Sad. So, and it's called Enjoy Your Life. So definitely you can keep sharing what you are reading. So we have these programs, and we make dua that when we enter the world of books, we enter with all right, so it's Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Okay, wonderful. Any other books that you may have read, you can type them here too. And we make dua that every journey that we make, every book that we read, we enter with truth and we exit with truth, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make a supporting authority for us, right? رَبِّ أَدْخِلْنِي مُدْخِلَ صِدْقٍ وَأَخْرِجْنِي مُخْرَجَ صِدْقٍ وَاجْعَلْنِي مِنْ لَدُنْكَ سُلْطَانًا نَصِيرًا. So even in the book club, we have a good time together, and if we need, we can invite our cousins around the globe, and we can just tell them, because it's not bound by anything, and we can read together, and it will give us a good way of connecting with them and good way of talking about things. So inshallah, as final words, we're just gonna leave you with the du'as for knowledge. So whenever we pick up a book, there's so many books that we are required, even in our academia, to read, right? And we make dua that Allah make us a beneficial reading for all of us. When Stars Are Scattered sounds like an interesting title. Wonderful, Samia. So definitely we can read and keep these du'as with us, that Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. As Zaid mentioned, the first word that came to the Prophet ﷺ was Iqra, and it's time that we connect ourselves back to reading and ask Allah that Rabbana zidna ilma, O Allah increase us in knowledge, Allahumma faqihna fid deen, O Allah grant us deep understanding of deen. Allahumma inna nas'aluka ilman nafi'a wa amalan mutaqabbala wa rizqan tayyiba. Oh Allah, we ask you for knowledge that benefits, for actions which are accepted, and for provision that is good. And Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna ilma. Allah, benefit us through what you teach us, and teach us what is beneficial for us, and increase us in knowledge, right? So when you will have a book recommendation, it will definitely pass through a panel. We'll review it, and then inshallah we can add it to our book club list for next books. And very, very important to ask Allah to protect us from knowledge that is not beneficial. There are tons and tons and thousands of books out there, which, you know, can corrupt our mind as well. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that corruption. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from useless knowledge. So Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min ilmin la yanfa. Allah, we seek your protection from knowledge that is not beneficial. So at Pen Book Club, we will try our best to only bring books which hopefully would add value to your life, and hopefully you will make it better for you here and hereafter, inshallah. And وَمِن قَلْبٍ لَا يَخْشَوْ, and from a heart that does not fear. وَمِن نَفْسٍ لَا تَشْبَوْ, and a soul that is not satisfied. وَمِن دَعْوَةٍ لَا يُسْتَجَابُ لَهَا, and from a prayer that is not answered. So before I hand it over to okay, thank you so much, Sabah, for the disclaimer that this book may not be good for younger audience. Yes, so that's what, you know, if you would like to be part of the panelists also, we'll definitely review which books are good, which is not, and we will definitely be reviewing that. And just a show of hands, how many of us, you know, how many of us readers would like to be writers one day? So go ahead and type one that, yes, I want to read and eventually leave back my mark in the world and share the knowledge and wisdom with everybody. So that will be one, if I would like to write one day. And option two, no, I'm just reading for you know, enjoying or benefiting. I am not planning on writing. So you can share two on that. And let's be honest, however you feel comfortable, you can do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by the pen in the Quran, and whatever it writes, that was the first thing that was created. And we ask Allah that help us read with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And no matter how much we read and how much we become knowledgeable, we remember that Iqra wa rabbukal akram, the most honorable will always be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us maintain our humbleness. And we truly thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity to come together and you know, apply Iqra in our life and open world of opportunity by reading useful materials out there together. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in our time and efforts, and help us all read to succeed, inshallah. So Zaid, if you would like to conclude with, if anybody has any questions, any comments that you want to make, go ahead, you can raise your hands. And definitely if you want to share any book that you have read and you want to share, if you raise your hand, we will be able to, you know, hand over the mic to you, even if it's a question or any comment. Okay, so go ahead, Zaid, I'll let you answer that question. You can take the mic if you like.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum barakatuh.
I guess you can do graphic novels as long as they represent Islamic morals and values, but that will come in the near future, inshallah, and we can discuss it at a later time.
Yeah, so basically, you know, the thought process we were thinking was, when we start with Alchemist, we set up our goals. You will see in this book what's happening, and then we set up our goals. And the first book that we start, you know, somewhere regarding the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ. So if you have any suggestions, you can definitely send them. And Sabah, whatever novel is in your mind, please go ahead and do send it, and we can definitely see how we can, you know, take it from there. So I hope that answers. Very nice. Sounds very interesting, right? So I know there is a book. There are many interesting books, especially the books which are coming out after all this war and things that have been happening around us, about some little children who have gone through these disasters. So yes, this sounds very interesting, that a little girl who is deaf and now how she deals with it. Isn't that amazing that we are sitting here and we are able to hear each other? Alhamdulillah. And you know, once we read the challenges, what a person goes through when they can't hear, it reminds us to be very, very thankful for the blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, right? Alhamdulillah. So once again, Jazakallah khair for being here, and inshallah, stay tuned for an email if you have registered at tinyurl.com/penbookclub. Before today, like maybe by midday today, you had received an email for the invitation to this session today. So stay tuned for the information on the book, the PDF, and those who will even register probably will give you 2-3 days if you want to share with anybody else. And maybe we can send out the book by Friday to whoever is joining. We will send out the book, and inshallah we will reconvene on July 8th. So we come back and we discuss what we learned from this, and we will give you we will keep posting for you how you're doing, and you can keep us posted as how is your progress or how are you finding this book as we warm up for a more challenging books ahead, and interesting books ahead. So if we have any questions, we can take it. Otherwise, we can inshallah make dua and we can conclude for today. And by the way, if anybody missed any of the beginning part, we will try to share the recording with everybody so you can share with your family and friends as well. So Zed, would you like to do the dua for us?
All right, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا رب إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وأدخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا ربي أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعلني من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Jazakallah khair wa asul jaza, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everybody here, inshallah.